us how you got to, how did you go from the world of optometry, all those thousands and thousands of patients you've seen, and then there happened to be a day when you saw this thing called Pharmanex. You saw new skin. You saw something that intrigued you about the idea and the notion of having a, shall we say, a science-based technology that kind of opened your eyes, if you will, no pun intended. But
no pun intended.
What transitioned there for people to hear today?
Yeah, so, in the world of, say, functional medicine, now remember, I grew up in an allopathic background. Allopathic is your Western medicine, opposites cure. So if you get a sty in the eye, like I'll use antibiotics, so on and so forth. But I had patients coming in, Dan, that were saying, hey, can I use resveratrol for macular degeneration? Can I use curcumin, astaxanthin, anthocyanins? And I kept saying, I don't know, not N-O, I don't know, K-N-O-W. And so I kept saying, I'm going to research and let me do some digging. Well, I kept saying that so many times that I said, look, I better do this because my patients see a need. There's a gap that needs to be filled. So, I do a lot in optometry and I'm pretty well connected. So I thought it would be pretty easy to find a scientifically based company, a way to measure, so on and so forth. And I was going to some functional medicine courses. I was going to A4M, the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. I was poking around. And then I stumbled upon Trevor Crabtree, who's an eye doctor who had this in his practice. And he said, hey, you got to take a look at this. And so I went over and, open-minded, took a look at it, put my hand on, scored about 26,000. And I said, okay, this is pretty interesting. I like this. Did a little digging. Long story short, went out to Provo, Utah, because I like to take a look and look under the hood. And it was pretty funny. I remember it distinctly. I said, can I talk to the scientist or to a scientist, like singular? And they're like, well, which one? I'm like, whoa, what's up with this? They're like, well, we got like 75 scientists, 13 disciplines. I'm like, all right, this is pretty. I went from like bicycle to Ferrari like overnight. So it was pretty neat. So that's really the story, trying to help my patients. I don't really have a story where I was sick or feeling bad and I was looking for an alternative type. But I wanted to help my patients. So.
You wanted to know, right? You wanted to know how you could do it. K-N-O-W. You went from no to knowing. And give us an idea of what the feeling was like, because we really talk a lot about the idea of let's make a visit to the campus. What did it feel like for you to walk into that campus? I mean, you're going from a professional setting. You've obviously in your clinic have tens of thousands of dollars of optometry equipment, measuring devices, technologies. You've invested a lot of money in that practice. And then you say, I'm going to jump the bridge here from this professional clinic, and I'm going to add something that it might even be more professional, even though it might be network marketing, direct selling. How did you jump over and cross that bridge?
Well, the network marketing, there's a college in town. I live in a very small town. Actually, St. Francis, who made it to the to March Madness, is right where I live. Just to say, 1991 was the last time they were there. Loretto, Pennsylvania. I'm the next town over, about 4 miles. But I got a few colleges around, so I went over and network marketing never really bothered me. It's been around, it's been successful. So I met with a couple of the business people. And the business guy's like, hey, listen, it's like the purest form of capitalism. You have control. He said, you're going to love this, Greg. You're an entrepreneur. You like your own destiny. You like having your money. You like not being told what to do. It's not like you have a budget. You have a quota to make. He goes, this is going to be perfect for you. He goes, it is pure form of capitalism that's out there. And Dan, as I looked at the payment structure, or the PIN titles, and you go from brand affiliate to brand rep, and then you become, gold and lapis and work your way up through. I've done a lot in optometry, and then I always go back to the contact lenses. I'm not going to mention a company, but pick your contact lenses that you're wearing. They're usually in an Asian market, a U.S. market, and a a European market, and then there's a U.S. sales director. And watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to build like a little pyramid here, a little U.S. marketer, then the East West, then you got your regionals and your district managers, and then you got your locals. You put all the optometrists under it, and you sell a box of contact lenses for $80, and I get like 15. Where did all the money go? It went all the way up through, right? Everyone. So it's the same thing here, except there can only be one U.S. marketer in the United States for that company. I have the ability, if I work hard, to get the team elite like you and Stephen Moore and Scott and everyone out there. So I love the structure. It's great for entrepreneurs. So that's how I got past the hurdle. Sorry about the long, drawn-out explanation. So
no, I love the fact that you have a beautiful way of describing it. And that's what we all do. We personalize our story and where we come from. If I'm a homemaker and I see how I can sell the tanner and make an extra $100 today or this week, then I can tell that story. One team elite told me today, well, we don't have a lot of scanner focus on our group. And I'm thinking, that's okay. You're still going to learn from Dr. Greg here on how big this opportunity is and how powerful the future is with Prism and the power of the puck. And the power of the puck is going to do something that has never been done before on how this product will 10x its revenue stream. It is going to be astronomical what we see. And I wonder for you, when you look at the businessman, and let's say I run into you at that conference you mentioned, A4 conference or whatever, I run into you at the aisle, maybe I see your booth or something and I meet you and I see your name badge maybe and I say, hey, Dr. Greg, what do you do here? How do you generally answer that question? What do you do?
So, that's pretty easy. I want to spread the word, right? So when you go to the anti-aging conference, these are people that are into wellness and prevention. So a lot of people want to recommend a supplement, but let me digress. Like you come in for an eye exam, I check your acuity. If it's blurry, I do which is better, 1 or 2. I check your I check your pressure in your eye. If it's high, you could have glaucoma. So check a blood pressure. Oh, if it's too high, I might stop the eye exam and get them to the emergency room if it's high. But the key is we have to measure. And there's all kinds of supplements out there. Let me tell you in the office what the most rewarding is. I do this on every single patient. I do it as a pre-test. And these patients come in and I have my technicians, most of my office are on product. They believe in it. My one technician had a great story about, her immune system was broken. She was having these allergies and the allergies had totally calmed down spring and fall. And I said, she said to me, could this help? And I said, absolutely. Your immune system needs to be, this is all about the immune system. When you put your hand on the scanner, it's a measure of the low chronic inflammation in your body. It's a measurement of how your immune system is working. So hers was low. Her immune system was, was being broken. That's out there. But the point is, what I like to point out too, is that these patients come in and they think they're going to blow it out of the water because they're taking this recommendation, or they went to down the aisle, one of the box stores, and they put their hand on there, and it's like wah wah wah. They failed, and now they're like, okay, but they say to my technician, "Are you on this?" And they love it. And when they get to the room, we can help out. So my point of that is, you have to measure. How do you know if it's working? And that's the beauty of just about every Pharmanex product that's out there, whether it's the antioxidants, even the skin and joint. I always say the joint, which is the collagen. You can measure with the scanner. I mean, that's the beautiful part of it. And this puck, it's going to be amazing. Let me just digress a little bit more.
Yeah. So after you digress, hold that thought. And I want to welcome everybody that came in. We're right in the middle of the show. I want to welcome everybody. My name is Dan McCormick, the host of Mastermind Training Circle. He's Dr. Greg Caldwell, optometry and ophthalmology speaker around the world. And I'm going to come back to Tracy Baum's comment here in just a minute, but go ahead, finish your digress there.
Yeah. So here's my last one. Here's my last comment is that, I kind of felt like, the scanner needs to have someone recommending this. But there's some devices now within eye care, like when someone has glaucoma, they can take this device home and they can check their pressure and get some feedback. So I think this Prism's going to be really cool when it ends up in households and parents and different people that can can on a daily basis measure or a weekly basis measure and take control of some of these chronic diseases and why we have so much autoimmune disease and chronic illness in the United States.
Maha, baby. Let's make America healthy again. Let's make the world healthy again. I got to just say, in the pre-conference, you said, hey, do we want to talk about, this incredible thing called age-locked youth? Do we want to talk about meta or any of this kind? You really geek out on this. And I think our audience is going to be passionate about this because most of us are product evangelists, right? But we're opportunity focused. I mean, we know that business is about paying the bills, making the money. And so there's Tracy Baum saying, hello, youth, systemic inflammation. We can get somebody else talking about meta. And we got the power of the purple. The power of the purple's right here. We got the power of the puck that's coming. And talk a little bit about some of your favorite, I guess, talking points, if you will, for gut health.
Yeah. So, well, let me work into gut health. So it gets confusing with all the products out there. And I think what I like to do is I like to break it down. You have your Life Pack and you have Life Pack Nano, you have your Age Locked Youth. Those are all going after those free radicals. They're antioxidants. And I'm a big believer that you got to couple it with fish oil. The big thing, I don't want to get too deep into the science, but everyone has a cell membrane. And remember in biology, that cell membrane is a fat. It's a phospholipid bilayer membrane, but it's a fatty lipid. It needs the 3s and 6s. And in America, we get a ton of 6s, and our body loves to be balanced out, so it needs those 3s. If that cell membrane isn't healthy, maybe those fat-soluble supplements aren't going to absorb. So antioxidants, Life Pack Nano, get some fish oil in there, add the youth, you got your antioxidants. Now, moving down to the next category, if you're going to try and help out, would be skin and joints from the inside out. And that's your collagen. And what I love about the collagen, after doing the digging and the science behind it, is it's that bioactive collagen. All right, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
Dan, if you and I were going to go build an office and we ordered all the lumber and all the receptacles and everything that we need, and you and I said, let's go 6 weeks away and we'll come back. Oh, we forgot to hire the contractor. Everything's still sitting there. And that's what this bioactive does, is that it signals the body to use it. So when I take that every single day, when that goes in, it's just not making a ride from my mouth and into the septic system. It is actually being put to work with that bioactive. And that's good for skin and joints. Now, where I geeked out a little bit is that in this gut health. We get all real fancy about calling it leaky gut. But I think if we would just call it what it is, I think everyone on here listening or who listens to it afterwards, and when I speak to my audiences, I say if it's leaky poop getting into your blood and lymph system, we probably all want to fix that. So think about it. It's inflammatory. It gets into your body. And that's why we have so much autoimmune. So that's why we want to tighten that up with New Biome right here, right there. And we want to tighten that up with the meta. And that's the power of the purples there and the blues to really get in there and support the good bacteria, to push those bad bacteria out. So that's I kind of break it down into antioxidants, skin and joint, and gut health.
I love it. I love it. It's so powerful today. We read a lot about people in the news. We see articles, we see clinicals, we see all kinds of things about the gut-brain axis. This is a big deal. And I love how you said, hey, the future, and I left my hockey puck in the other room, but the future of the power of that puck is people can take it home. It's going to be portable. They can purchase it. It's simple. It's 15 seconds, right? Finger on the puck, right? And then it shows up on the screen and you can order what you need. You can do that anywhere. The portability, from all of the trade shows you've done, think about the time and the energy to bring the devices, to set them up, to get the power, to get everything set up. And now we just simplify so we can electrify, and then we can multiply, and our organizations and our messaging gets out there to many more people. Give me an idea for the, I'm in your office today. We're measuring, I got some eye issues and things. I put my hand to the scanner. Walk me through why my hand's on the scanner, some of the things you might be educating me. What am I doing right here? And then walk me through the process from the scan to the sale, perhaps.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because you almost become priest-like at times whenever you walk into the room, right?
I
They'll be
love that.
like, "Hey, doc, my score's low. I was in Vegas last week with my son, this and that," and I'm like, "Well, you can stop right there. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I need no more details because this is a 60-day scan of your fruits and vegetable intake, right?" So I think one of the biggest things that I think I'd like to point out to the audience is that that remember that bananas are, it's easy. That's an easy one. Bananas are usually green in the store. Apples are picked green when they're supposed to be red. Oranges are green. And I always use the analogy of a baby is that, if a baby is born a few weeks too early, that's critical. And if a fruit or vegetables picked too early, put into a gas chamber, that's critical because it didn't get to change out in the sun and create all those vitamin that should be in there and minerals. So what happens is the patients get they come in, they put their hand on the scanner and it's like, wait, I eat healthy. And I go, well, this is why our food system is broken. It's really not the soil. Some of it's the soil, but they pick everything so early that those chemical reactions, those last few weeks are so critical. So first of all, it's an eye opener for the patients, right? So no pun intended on that one. They're sometimes on a supplement. So now that becomes the lie detector of the supplements. And now they'll say, okay, why are you as the eye doctor? Well, I say, look, eyes see a lot of end organ disease. Let me take a step back. So the eye is an organ, the skin is an organ, the heart is an organ, so on and so forth. So diabetes can cause bleeding in the eye. That would be an end organ disease. Okay, so I see the bleeding from the diabetes. Too high of a cerebral spinal fluid could cause your nerves to swell, kind of an end organ disease. So they'll say to me, why are you doing this? Well, I can detect 300 diseases in an eye exam. So I'm trying to protect you from those 300 diseases. So the beautiful part is you don't have to be an eye doctor to do this, right? Anyone out there that now with this scanner can go out, help friends, help family, help people in the church, help people at the golf course. You just have to have a few little fundamentals to go out, which I'm willing to help people, and go out and teach these concepts again to make our communities a lot healthier than they really are.
Okay, so I scan less than 10,000. What are you going to say to me?
Dan, I'm really concerned about this score. I think the word concerned is a powerful one, right? Why are you concerned? Well, I'm concerned because this score is telling me about your immune system. It's telling me you have low chronic inflammation. Patients know that low chronic inflammation is never good. And I tell them it's like going to Vegas and spinning the roulette wheel. Which disease is it going to end up on? Is it going to be an eye problem? Is it going to be glaucoma? Is it going to be macular degeneration? Is it going to be dry eye? Let's move out. Is it going to affect your brain, Alzheimer's or dementia? Is it going to be your heart? Is it going to be your liver? Is it going to be leaky gut? So it's not specific, but you know what I tell the patients? I'm concerned with that 10,000 score, Dan. I would like you to do me a favor. They usually come in with a Starbucks, and I usually say to them, I say, hey, before I even start, I usually walk in and I'll say, hey, what type of Starbucks is that? And they'll rattle off some type of Frappuccino, chocolate, whatever, strawberry mixed with whatever. And I'm like, is that like $3 or $4? They're like, oh, no, that's like $7 or $8. Boom, I got them because I'm going to say, hey, Dan, do you have 250 to 350 a day to help with your health? Can you do that for 2 months because your skin turns over every 2 months? I'm concerned about this score. I like to put you on this. I'm going to schedule you back in 2 months for your hand scan and see if your score goes up. Wow. It's kind of hard for someone to say no to that.
Yeah. Once you get hands on the scanner, and I know in your team with the doctors and the things that you've done, there's been tens of thousands of scans on your team alone. And I'm not sure how many thousands of customers you've put on it, but it's pretty awesome that you have this paradigm and it fits with your world. Now, it's not my world because I come from a direct selling network marketing world. But my son-in-law shows up. You met him a couple months ago when we were over there at the Innovation Center. And he says, look, I'm concerned. I don't have any feeling in my shoulders. I'm not sure I can do foot and ankle surgery. I need to have some residual income. And so my son-in-law wakes up on the first of the next month after he gets his first 20, 30 customers and says, voila, I've never started a month in my life with already having some residual income. And I just know that when you get hands on the scanner, They're so much fun. Like, you have to have fun with this. You're serving people, you're loving on people. And what's your response when someone says, no, I don't have the time or the money?
It's basically, I want them to take a really good understanding. I'm going to send them some information. They're going to get their score in the mail. I say to them, look, do me a favor. I want you to go home, change your lifestyle. I want you to go home and eat a little bit better. But I'm so concerned that I'm going to schedule you back in about 4 months, and I want to see if you're able to move the needle. So I'm not trying to sell them at that point, but I want them to understand, Dan, that I'm concerned about this number. So I think the key is that if you get someone that doesn't really want to buy it, it's not really understanding it, they want to think about it, is bring them back and show them that you're concerned. Just don't be like, oh, I'll see you in a year from now, and hopefully, you don't develop a chronic condition in the meantime. Show them that you're concerned, show them that you're compassion. I can't really bill for that, so I have no problem. I have a second schedule at my office that I just bring them back, and I'll just do it for free and scan them just because I'm concerned about it.
Yeah. And different doctors' offices have different ways they do this. Do you charge per scan in the office, or is it part of the office visit? And then the rescan, how do you do that?
Yeah, I don't charge. We have a pretty good wellness package at our practice where we take a picture and all this kind of fancy stuff. We were going to add it to that, but we only have and it's pretty high. And I say only, it's pretty high. People are amazed by it. We have a 70 to 80% capture rate with our wellness program, but that still told me that I was going to miss 20 to 30 people. So I wanted to scan everyone. I wanted to be able to do that. So I don't charge for the scan. I want to be able to scan everyone. But that's the beauty of this, Dan. When you're an entrepreneur, there's no whatever it is CPT code for it. So people can charge for it. You could say, hey, it's $5. I'm going to donate it to a charity, or however you want to do it. But you could charge for it. You can get some income for yourself. I have doctors' offices that do charge for it. And I'm just not an eye care either. I have other professionals that are out there. But that's the beauty when I chat with them, is that you can, there's the different ways of the income with this. You can charge, not charge. You get the commission on the supplements. So either way, depending on your office setting. But I don't charge.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Everybody gets an entrepreneur. They get to choose the way they want to do it. So we're down to our last couple minutes here, Greg. And I'm just so grateful for your time. People love, these are passionate, mission-driven entrepreneurs. They want to win trips. They want to serve families. They want to make money so they can serve their community, their church, whatever. I mean, money buys memories for you and your family. What is the big picture for Dr. Greg?
Yeah, so I started off with back in the day. I'm an eye doctor, but I think most of the people that I've met is that I love teaching. 30 years teaching. I'm on the road all the time. I'm a road warrior, I guess, as I say. Next weekend I'll be in New Orleans. I was at Atlanta a few weeks ago. Before that, Orlando. Before that, Pittsburgh. Before that, so I love to teach. My passion is to teach. I hope it's coming out with some of the concepts that I have here tonight. But I grew up teaching in say the allopathic world, right? Teaching opposites cure, teaching how to treat, and I'm not saying I'm not going to do that. I'm becoming an integrative doctor, taking allopathic, taking kind of the functional and integrating it, best of both worlds. So I think my future, Dan, is as I kind of ride out the sunset here in my education, is it's already happening. I'm just transitioning a lot of my lectures into health, wellness, prevention, how to help people way beyond the eyes, and trying to just teach I do a lot in eye doc, but any healthcare professional, any person that wants to learn how to do this.
I love it. As Tiffany says right here, follow your why. And that is a beautiful thing. All of us have a why in our life. And if your why doesn't make you cry, you might want to check your eyes and reassess. We are grateful for everybody's participation. Everybody's just loved it. It's just so fun to have you on. We've had Steve Hatchett on. We've had, over the years, Dr. Joe Chang on. We've had, just Ryan Napierski last month, and so many amazing people talking about the power of the puck, the future. And the goal today was to expand, right? We've had a 8-year run that has been primarily a social media driven company, a social commerce company, an influencer-based company. But hey, I want you to know that you may not know Dr. Greg Caldwell personally or other optometrists personally, but you can and you will by saying, I am a magnet for miracles, and I can attract and I can become and have the right energy, frequency, vibration to become the best recruiter ever. I am a recruiter. I want to recruit more Gregs. I want to recruit more like my son-in-law, Jeremy. I want to recruit more Lawrence Kazan-Kazinis. I want to recruit more Tracy Bombs. And today was a really special 30 minutes. Thank you, Greg. Love your contribution and your service. Everybody go out and make it the best day of your life. Next week, amazing. We have 5 Saturdays in the month of March, I believe. We'll have the 4th Saturday next week. Do not forget to put it in your screen. It is called The Greatest Secret. You do not want to miss as we dive into The Greatest Secret next week. I love that Nikki put that right there. And everybody go out and make it the best day of your life. I'm Dan McCormick. He's Greg Caldwell from the beaches of South Carolina today. And we look forward to having you back in the future, Greg.
Thank you. Truly an honor and a pleasure. Thanks, Dan.
Everybody have a great day. We're going to check out. Bye for now. Be with you next week. Week number 4 of the Mastermind Training Circle in March of 2025. Bye for now.